Oh god. Oh, we have to do it again? I have to do this all over again? Didn't I just do this? But a lot of life seems to involve kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Just in case you haven't, like, found this out about life yet, you know? If you haven't, like, if you've only experienced unique things up to this point, which I don't really even know how that's possible. I mean, you must have gone to the bathroom more than once. But if that hasn't happened, I'm just saying you're gonna get the urge again. Gotta navigate, learn your way around the toilet. You know, as for me, I know the toilet like it's the back of my hand. Even though they're two different things, I don't use the back of my hand as if it were a toilet. Like, if you ask me to tell you something about my sister that kind of like encapsulates her in a nutshell, it would be that, and I don't know if she still does this, but at one point, if she were in a public bathroom and there were someone in the adjacent stall, she wouldn't want people to know like how hard she's pooping, I guess. And she would kind of deflect the projectile with her hand, so as to not make as big a splash. So I don't know what the lesson is there. I would say, I don't know. I just don't. You just gotta let that stuff go where it goes. You know, the more you try to, like, fight gravity and, like, the laws of physics, the more trouble it spells for you, generally. Sometimes it gives you poop hand. There's a serious irrigation problem in my head. I was just sick again recently. Speaking of things you have to do over and over again. You get sick once, you think, okay, looking forward to being healthy the rest of my life. Guess what? A few months later, same shit. You'd think it would be one and done with illness, but they keep making new ones. There's new ones that keep coming out. I'm not saying they're making them. They're being made by people who put their hands in toilets to catch, fly balls, as it were. So I thought what I would do now that I'm recovering from that, I thought I would go for a walk in the rain, like an ill-fated president who's not going to make it through the first term. It really sucks to be famous for that, right? Like, I'm the guy who didn't even listen to my mom when she said, like, don't go outside in the rain for a long time. You gotta listen to your mom if you want to be the president. I mean, otherwise you're gonna fucking kill yourself accidentally. Look what happened. I think if I were the president, I would have all the toilets replaced with new technology where when something hits the surface of the water in the bowl, it's detected by a hydrophone that picks up the vibrations and it triggers a bus horn. So it's like, sure, people know I'm pooping, that's okay. Like, if you're okay with that, this is good. But it has to be like, I don't want people to know more intel about my particular pooping style. I don't want them to know the details, the specifics. This isn't that kind of show. It's not any kind of show. It's not any kind of anything. And if you have a problem with that, you're correct. I mean, it's right to have a problem with it. Things should be about things, Even Seinfeld, the joke was it's a show about nothing, but it wasn't about nothing. It was about everything. But yeah, during my walk, I ran into this perennial little conundrum that I find myself in, because the crosswalk is also the bus stop. So if you're waiting for the crosswalk, you're in the bus stop. So the bus will sometimes come to stop, even if you're the only one there. And my conundrum is, I don't know how to signal that I don't want the bus. If I make any kind of gesticulation, any kind of motion with my hand, it's going to look like, hey, come here, you big bus, and pick me up. Just looking at it is basically giving consent, being like, hey, pick me up. So all I can think of is maybe just flip them off. You can't really do that, though. So what do you, even if I don't get picked up, I don't want to hurt the bus driver's feelings. But how do you tell the bus to fuck off? You can't do it. I mean, surely someone else has been in this situation. And I need help. This is the worst thing in my life right now, is this bus problem. I mean, a city is kind of like an organism and it needs things flowing, and it's like, I just temporarily disrupted that just by standing here. It just seems weird that you need like permission to like traverse space on the planet of Earth, the planet where you can't leave. So this is all you got, and then on top of that, they're like, if you want to go to Canada, you need a little document. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just Canada. You can just walk over there. It's just part of, it's just the Earth. It's Earth. It's more Earth. And this is a true story. I was detained in Canada for like 5 minutes because my ex lived very close to the border, and I drove up 6 hours, and she's like, hey, let's go visit my family, my extended family who live there. I'm like, sure, let's do that, except for I don't have a passport, and I don't even have a driver's license. But I have my school ID, which just has my picture and my name, and it says, hey, this kid just dumped $75,000. The least we could do is give him a fake driver's license. It's like it's a school license. This kid is smart enough to go to school, so that should count for something. It says all this on the card. So I was like, so she was like, you know, they're very lax at the border, you know, so they probably won't even ask, so we can just drive up there. And they did ask, and I showed, and it didn't go very well at all. They didn't even let us turn around right away. They're like, just come in with us. Then they let me go, and I was like, I'm an asshole. I'm a huge asshole. So get a driver's license. I have a driver's license now, and now I use it to drive all over the place. I'm actually gonna drive to your house later. Are you okay with that? Whoever you are, I'm coming. I'm on my way. But I'm not driving to Canada because I still don't have a passport. So the moral of the story wasn't get a driver's license, it's get a passport if you go to another country. So why did I say it was about the license? Maybe in that case it would have worked. I don't know. Maybe if it was a license instead, they'd be like, well, he's a little bit more legit than if he had, say, an ID that says, like, what meal plan he has at the cafeteria. Like, I basically live in a state that's just, like, it's like if someone, like, cut and pasted a little bit of Canada and just put it in America, that's what it is. But if you go to Canada, Trudeau's, sorry. Isn't Trudeau's kudos the new currency they're working on? They're going independent, right? They're doing indie economy. That's pretty good. Well, what do you want to talk about? Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. But first, we got a message from Cheetos. Cheetos, you can lick the Cheeto dust off your hands, and we're aware of recent allegations against Chester Cheetah. We just want to say we are awaiting the outcome of ongoing litigation before disclosing our position on the one known as Chester Cheetah. Cheetos, buy him today. Alright, so that was good. So weather check, it's now no longer raining. It's I had entered a state in like between when I was feeling sicker earlier and I was trying to sleep. I had entered this state where I had basically my body didn't exist, but the mucus inside of me did, and all I could feel just snot inside of my head, and I essentially became the snot. And it really made me wonder, like, am I snotty, or am I the snot? It feels like it clogs up my head, but it also, like, clogs up my life. I just can't really, I can't think clearly when it's like that. I can't experience things normally. It does, as I've said before, you know, it really just makes you realize how fake your perception of everything is. It's largely just a product of what your brain and body are doing, what they're up to. They're really bossing you around. And so basically, if anything ever really gets to you in any kind of way, then it's only getting to you by way of your brain. And whether or not you are entirely your brain, you shouldn't really think of yourself as just your brain. I think it's problematic to think I'm just an organ, because objectively speaking, seeing as how it's all just physical matter, there's nothing inherently objectively worse about like taking someone's brain out as opposed to taking out their spleen. They're just different. They're just different pieces of a machine. It's like taking a motorcycle apart. What's the problem? There's no physical indication that the motorcycle is going to have any feelings about it. And from the outside looking in, there's no physical indication that the human's going to have any feeling about that. But the difference is we know they do. I guess, like, what the question is, like, if the situation inside of my head, what's the mucus to brain ratio where it gets to the point where I'm actually more mucus than brain, and therefore I'm not a human being, I'm just a big ball of mucus. Like, I literally identify as boogers. This episode is for 6-year-olds. We're talking poop, we're talking boogers. We're taking all your calls on poop and boogers. Any poop stories, any booger stories. That's coming up on NPR. I'm Thurl Ravenscroft. I'm the guy who sang the Grinch. I'm pretty sure that's the guy who sang the Grinch. Why isn't it cool to sing like Thurl Ravenscroft anymore? This is a serious question. Why aren't you hearing songs on the radio with a guy who sings like that? It's fun. Everybody sings like a little baby now. You broke my heart. You know, what is that? Was that Ellie Goulding that started that? Because that was the first time I can remember hearing it. When it was Ellie Goulding, I didn't find it annoying, because I'm like, oh, she just actually talks like that, or sings like that. Why have all the vocal stylings would that one become dominant? Such a mystery. If only there was somebody who knew more about anything. If only we're all on our own in this world when it comes to answers. You know, all of my answers on everything are provisional, so they're there in place for now. But who knows? You know, I mean, anything can happen to you. Anything can happen to you at any moment, and your entire perception of everything can shift 180 degrees instantly. So you've essentially become like a slave to circumstance. You're just like, I'm just abdicating free will. I don't need it. I'll just let the environment pick and choose how I feel. So I think that we do have free will, but you have to kind of like work at it a little bit. Like you can choose between having free will and not having free will. You can just kind of act unconsciously without really thinking about why you have the thoughts and attitudes that you have. So just letting it go by totally unexamined. So the average person, it's a little bit of a mix of both, probably. Some of it is kind of giving into circumstances, and some of it is saying, no, actually, I'm not going to be defined by this. I'm going to be defined by something else, something deeper than that. And it's different than what's outside of me in a qualifiable way. But it's not at all an easy thing to do. It could be a lifelong project. And I would say 99.9% of people don't get it totally clean. There's still some dirt on the lens, which is perfectly fine. And if you were to apply whatever you learned from that, it would generally only be productive. It's much easier that way. It's so easy it almost doesn't even matter if it's based on anything real. Who cares what's real? I'll show you something real. I'm driving to your house right now. I'm recording this while I'm on my way to your house. What's your address? I set up a soundproof booth in my car. It cost $80,000. And it's all just so I can come get you. I'm gonna get you. This is a real threat, by the way. So you can call the police. I don't care. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get your shed, I'm gonna get your lawnmower, and I'm gonna mow your lawn. I've been having the itch to mow a lawn. I haven't mowed a lawn in a long time. It's a very satisfying activity. There's like tangible results that you can look back. You can be like, it's making a difference. I'm sorry if that difference involves destroying, thousands of insect habitats, insects that are so small I can't even see them. It's hard to like live in a world where it's like I might harm something that's like the size of a microbe or something. I might step on it. Tardigrades, they have rights, so, if you see a tardigrade, well, first of all, that's amazing. Secondly, protect it at all costs. Not that it needs it, but you would never be able to look after a tardigrade. You couldn't handle that responsibility, something that small. So this is always a good question to ask people, is how small of a creature do you think you would be able to care for competently? An ant? You can see an ant, so that's good. I can't see ants. I have ant blindness. A lot of people can't tell faces apart. I can't even see ants. So it's not really like face blindness. It's literally just I can't see ants at all. It might have something to do with that hypnotist I went to who hypnotized me to forget what ants are and to prevent me from ever learning ever again. So it might be the case that whatever an ant is, I have been seeing it. I have been running into it on a regular basis. I just wouldn't know. I wouldn't be able to identify it as an ant. It would just be kind of an unknown entity crawling all over my food. I don't know if that's bad, because I do have unknown entities crawling all over my food. So I hope that's not ants. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and bring out our man Slurp Von Lipstick. He's going to come out here. He's going to tell you what time it is. He always does this. But I mean, sometimes he'll get in a mood where, you know, he'll be giving you time checks like once every minute. It's like, man, like you're going to wear yourself out on this time stuff. Take a breather. It's so obvious why his wife left him. And why she destroyed all of the clocks in her home. Because she couldn't deal with it anymore. I mean, I can't blame her. Well, here he is, the man of the hour. It's Slurp on Lipstick. Give it up, give it up. Yes, thank you. Wow, what are the odds we both got sick at the same time? Huh? That's pretty crazy. Especially because we don't see each other outside here. And I usually come in here wearing a mask. Not for health reasons, but because people say my mouth doesn't look good when I talk. Do you have any idea how insecure that makes me? Dozens have told me this throughout my life. They say your mouth is fucking awful when you're saying stuff to me. Yeah, I'm a Slurp on Lipstick. Time is pretty much what I do. It's pretty much all I know how to do. It's the only thing that really matters in my life. And it's the only thing anybody wants from me. And I like that that it's this way. I think I like this little life, as they say, and I think it's time, also, to see what time it is. But first, I have to read a promotional message. Buy war bonds. Buy war... Oh, this is so fucking old. Somebody... Oh, they emailed this to me in the 40s. How am I just getting to it now? Support our boys overseas, and plant a victory garden while you're at it, you know? You can also buy my new time calendar that's coming out. It was originally intended to be just tasteful nudes of me, you know, and just a watch, and I'm just looking at the watch, you know, and I'm in various backgrounds that reflect the time of year. Unfortunately, as it turned out not being artistic at all. I realized that it's more upsetting to people than artistic. I have like the opposite of body dysmorphia. I think I look really good, but when I took a picture, it was not enjoyed by most, so I guess my perceptions are off as well. But anyway, we're selling those 20% off, so they're only $90. If you really do want to know like what day it is, I don't really do that. You know, I just do the time. Other than the calendar, I don't know. I don't have any way of getting that information to you. I mean, you can just look at your calendar on your computer or your phone. But while you're doing it, make sure not to look at the time. Because that would make me mad. Because that's my department. I got that covered. I got a handle on it. If you need to know what time it is, let me know. You can call me, like, my phone lines are open. The time phone lines are open. You can call in, you can ask me what time it is. We got somebody coming on right now. It's coming up as Jock. This guy's name is Jock, I guess. Jock. How you doing, Jock?
Yeah, sorry, it's a typo. It's supposed to say Jick.
Supposed to say Jack?
Jick.
Alright, my dear boy, I'm gonna go ahead and just clue you in what time it is. Would you like a hint on this one? Would you like to guess? Do you want to take a wild guess?
7:37.
You didn't look at your phone, did you? Okay, you hung up. Ugh, cool, well, have a nice life, Jack. Could have got a little bit more juice out of that, but he cut it prematurely. But he is correct. The time is 7:37 p.m. I think I'm gonna call this Jack guy back, and I'm gonna just try to learn more about what his deal is. Jack, my man. Hey, sorry. What's going on? What's your deal?
What?
Like, what do you mean your name is Jack? First of all. Secondly, you committed a crime, which is that you're not allowed to check the time right before I'm going to give it to you.
It was kind of unavoidable because it's right on the phone. It was when I picked up the phone to call, I saw it accidentally.
This is not really an acceptable excuse. This really isn't acceptable. Did you download the app that removes the time from your phone?
No, and no one ever would do that.
Well, you have to do it if you want to participate in time check. Sorry, we all have to make sacrifices in life. The least you could do is, support those who do by buying war bonds.
What?
I'm so sick to my stomach with your behavior.
I don't really care.
No, you just hung up. Well, sometimes you try to make friends, and sometimes you just, everywhere you turn, it's enemies. And if that's happening to you right now in your life, I just want to tell you, you're not the problem. This is advice I tell everybody. I say it's everyone else is fucked up. You're normal. I tell this to everybody. They believe me. They're already primed to believe it, And it's what I tell myself every morning when I wake up. I say everyone else is a fucking cuckoo bean, and I'm just a standard issue dude. And there's no problems with that. So, I mean, what is normal? Is destroying someone's clocks just because you've fallen out of love with them, is that normal? To some people, I suppose. I can think of one example in my life. The thing is, all those clocks, here's the thing. Those clocks were all synced up perfectly. All 500 of them. Any kind of clock you could imagine. Cuckoo clock. A Budweiser clock. A grandfather clock. Every kind of possible clock. But somebody ruined all that for me. And now it's just back to having one clock. It's an Arthur clock. Arthur the Aardvark. It's just a clock with his face on it. Nothing special. That's the only clock I have in my home. It's the only one she left, so... But the great thing about time is that it always moves forward. You might not be able to travel across space unimpeded. You might need a passport. You might need your documents. But when it comes to time, no one's going to stop you from getting to the next minute unless they're trying to kill you. And it's definitely not legal. I mean, this is what Chester Cheetah is finding out. If you haven't been following this news item, I mean, if you read the allegations, it looks like it's really bad for Chester Cheetah. And it was impossible for him to deny it because the crime scene was covered in Cheeto dust. By the way, you can bet your ass the bee from the Honey Nut Cheerios, he's relishing this. He's had a beef with Chester Cheetah for years. And to finally see him get his comeuppance, that bee is going fucking crazy right now. And a lot of people are saying Chester Cheetah also is innocent. He's just being blamed because he's the fastest person anybody can think of. So they'd be like, well, obviously if they got away really fast. So that really just leaves Chester Cheetah, It's not going to stop me from buying Cheetos, but it will stop me from donating money to Frito-Lay. I'm like, I want you to make more of this shit. Here's $50. I'm putting a little extra money in their pocket every week for my paycheck. I just want them to be able to keep up the quality, And another part of it is I want them to fill the bag all the way. Because they stopped doing that years ago. And I'm saying, if you guys need a little extra money to fill the bag, I'm here to help. So far, it's not working. So I've actually received some letters from Frito-Lay saying, we don't want you to donate money, we want you to buy the product. That's our way of making money from you. And then I'll write back, I'm like, I want to go above and beyond. I want to show my loyalty. And they write back, they say, you absolutely don't need to do that. But I don't know. Now that with all this Chester Cheetah stuff, I don't know. It just makes you think twice about everything. Well, this has been Time Check, I guess. I hope that this was a good time. I hope that 737 was a good time that you'll remember. I hope you'll always remember this moment. I hope you'll carry this with you. Alright, I gotta go turn my turtle over. I left my turtle on his back when I left. I gotta go flip him over. It was punishment for something he did. But it's between me and him. So thank you for coming. Extraordinary content once again, as always, from a man who still goes by Slurp on Lipstick. He doesn't go by a different name. I've gotten used to it. It rolls right off the tongue. And with a name like that, you want it to roll right off. You want it off there quick, because it almost tastes bad. It makes me want to take a drink of water out of Glass Johnson over here. My sidekick, my loyal co-host, my ride or die for life. He's an inanimate glass that cannot speak, but he possesses consciousness. Everybody knows Glass Johnson. If you remember, actually, back during Katrina, they took him down there by the levee, and they tried to have him move some of the water. But he's just a normal-sized glass, so it didn't really work. And a lot of people blame Bush, and they should, but they should also blame Glass Johnson for not being a bigger glass. That was a pockmark on his career. I don't think he's really lived it down, to be honest. It really is kind of an inflated ego as a glass to think I'm mighty enough to prevent an act of God. It's a shame that the Kanye thing is really I think a strong memory of that era, when really it should have been the photos of Glass Johnson floating pathetically on the surface of the water. Barely any water even in him. He wasn't even filling himself up properly. But luckily, no floods today, despite persistent rain all day. And unfortunately, I've run out of dark meteorologists to talk weather with. They all just keep dying mysteriously. I don't know what it's all about, but I'm too lazy to look into it. But one guy that, is resilient, he's dependable, he's always there. Our man, Chuck Charles, our eye in the sky, traffic chopper. I'm going to be asking him to pull double duty and just tell us what the weather is. He's in a good place for forecasting and tell us where all the clouds are. Chuck Charles, my man, welcome back to the show. How is it up there in those gloomy skies?
Yeah, what do you want? What do you want first? You want weather, traffic? I got both of them.
Really, the primary concern right now is the weather, so I'd like information about that.
Yeah, sure. It's raining real hard. A lot of rain.
And how's that shaping up though? Is that gonna be an all night thing, or what's the deal?
Yeah, it's gonna go on for a while, so it's gonna be.
You didn't do any preparation for this, did you? You just thought you were gonna get away with telling me what it looks like outside?
Yeah, man. I gotta tell you honestly, I'm actually working from home today, so.
You're supposed to be in a helicopter.
Yeah, it's just a camera on the helicopter, right? So you can just look at that. Way easier.
No. This isn't what Traffic Check is about. It's all about the human element of it. We need human beings up in the sky. We're not getting that effect from you sitting in your pajamas.
Why not?
Because it's different.
How is it different?
We don't have the helicopter noise in the background.
Okay, I can put that on. Hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Does it sound any different?
No, it sounds exactly the same. It sounds the same. Look, it's just like when people say they don't want to go back to the office, they're usually talking about an office, not a helicopter. I would think going in a helicopter is the most fun thing you can do. Why wouldn't you want to do that?
Because the choppers crashed 3 times. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember it.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting another call. Hold on.
No, see, I'm not going to hold on for another call.
Hello?
Who is this person joining the call? Who is this?
Oh, it's my fish guy. It's the guy I get fish from. Sorry, this will just take a second. Hey, Born, how you doing?
Hey, so you wanted 2 fish?
No, I need 10 at least. Remember, this is the swordfish, right?
What the fuck is going on? Hang up on this guy.
Who are you to speak to me, the greatest fisherman in Craggler's Bay?
Whoa, okay. Alright, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't like people to talk to him like that. He also doesn't even like fish, so that's why he's miserable and mad all the time. He sells fish, but he hates them. Isn't that right?
I hate him.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's not a reason to take that out on a stranger over a phone call. I'm the host of a podcast. Who are you?
I'm a fish. I told you.
Well, if we want to settle this, maybe we can get to the root of why you're torturing yourself by staying in a livelihood that makes you so miserable and mad. It turns you into kind of a fucking prick, honestly.
I come from a long line of fishermen.
Oh yeah, that's a standard fisherman thing.
Yeah, I come from a long line of guys who work from home, so I get it too, you know.
Well, it all started when my great-great-great-great-grandfather killed a mermaid.
Look, I don't think we actually have time for this, but I mean, I think that basically makes sense. So you have to kill fish now forever. Everyone in your genetic line has to hunt fish. Well, I don't know. Just based on the way you sound, it sounds like you're like throwing spears at them. So I don't know what your deal is. You sound scary as shit.
I'm intimidating. Sometimes I kill the fish by throwing another fish at it.
That's insane. How do you throw the fish that hard?
I come from a long line of people who threw fish at other fish to kill the fish.
Okay. Alright, that's... Can you hang up on that guy? I don't have the power to hang up. I'm used to having hang up power.
Yeah, but we didn't get any of my business settled, so...
You haven't even gotten to the traffic yet. We're so far into this, you haven't even gotten to the traffic. Is he still on?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay, look, I'll give you $50,000. We'll call it even, okay?
Yeah, that works for me.
$50,000? What the hell? What? Well, if you could be doing anything, what would you rather be doing? I mean, you said you hated fishing, so what would you rather be doing?
I'd rather be a mailman.
So what would happen if you were to choose to be a mailman?
I would wake up in a bed filled with fish every morning. That would be my curse.
Huh. I don't know, I feel like there would just be a workaround, you know, some way you could sleep in like a hammock. How is the magic gonna get the fish in a hammock, you know?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it.
Well, you should. You know, I'm just gonna hang up on you both. Thank you so much to both Chuck Charles and his friend. Frankly, at this point, I don't care about the traffic. As I've said before, you know, the best way to find out what the traffic situation is, just head out there on the road and just take life as it comes. You don't need a prima strategy guide for life. You just live life. You know, you're supposed to have problems. You're supposed to have surprises. Things are supposed to catch you on your feet a little bit. This has been, to use an appropriate word, a dream of mine to make this happen. And now I finally achieved it. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Subconscious 1.0. It's an upgrade to your subconscious, a complete OS overhaul. No more dreams about being naked in school. We got rid of all of those. No more dreams about being chased by a kangaroo that has the face of Saddam Hussein. I don't know, maybe I was the only one who was having that, but I got rid of that one. But yeah, you could surf the web in your dreams. It's not the real web, it's a dream web. But you can get viruses, and I'm working on that. I'm working on the viruses, I'm putting them in there. Well, as the Navajo people say, see you later.